as you can see, what we're talking about today is a new CNN poll that was released. And it is about the president, President Biden. And let's say it's not good. It's not good. So let's get into it. So the first one is just his approval rating. And as you can see in March, his approval rating was 42%, disapprove 15%. That's minus 15. That's not good. His approve dropped from 42 to 40, and his disapprove went up from 57 to 60. So he went from minus 15 2 months ago to minus 20 now, and that just shows the American people aren't happy with the president. They're not happy with the direction of the country. So the next one, simple, generally how people think about elections. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the president is handling the economy? Again, in March, not good. 37 approve, 62 disapprove. But it actually dropped in May to 34 approve, and when the disapprove went up to 66. So it went from minus 25 to minus 32. It's nuts. It shows how incompetent the president is and how incompetent the American people understand he is. So, who has the right priorities? The Republican Party in the House don't have a good number. In fact, it's worse than the president. But I will tell you, as we don't have a March one, they have a January one for this one. But look at the numbers. January 2023, Republicans have the right priority, 27. It actually goes up. Voters are saying by 2%, which again, 29% is awful, and it's worse than the President Biden. It's bad. I'm not trying to say it's good, but the trend line is what we're looking at here. Has the right priority, up 2 from 27 to 29. Haven't paid enough attention to country problems. 73 in January, 70 now. 70's awful. It's terrible. But it's way better. But the margin is, the trend line is up. And if we look at the president's, the president didn't have one in January. The president had one in October. But if you look, in October of last year, before the midterms, his has the right priorities, 35%. That dropped to 31%, only 2% higher than Republicans. And again, they're going in opposite directions. Biden's going down, Republicans in the House are going up. Hasn't paid enough attention to the most important problems. 65% in October, 69% now. Nice. Going in the percentage, and that is going up, which is bad. And for Republicans, it was going down, which is good. And in a comparison, and again, this is rough because the American people liked the economy under Donald Trump. They just didn't like Donald Trump, which is why he lost in 2020. It wasn't about the economy. It was about Trump, the person. Has the right priorities, 40%. That's extremely high compared to the numbers we just gave. Hasn't paid enough attention to the important problems, 56%. Now, it's still the majority, and that's still not good. But that's way better than the Republicans in the House now, and way better than President Biden now. And that was before the 2018 midterms, in which Republicans got drubbed, losing by 8.6% nationally. So that it's not good for, again, Democrats. And this is a big one going on right now because we're talking about the debt ceiling. Do you approve of the way the president has handled the budget? 35% approve. That's interesting. 65 disapprove. That's awful. Again, that's minus 30. That's not good. And here's the big one, and this is where Republicans quite often overplay their hand. The question is, will they do it again? Congress should raise the debt ceiling no matter what. Only 24% say that. Congress should only raise the debt ceiling if there are spending cuts at the same time. Why? Because it's just common sense. If you maxed out your credit cards, you may say, hey, I needed a credit limit boost for interest or something, but at the same time, you have to cut your spending so you don't hit the next credit limit. And that's what the country is saying, 60%, a healthy number. That shows, again, the country's engaged. Should not raise the debt ceiling at all and allow the U.S. to default. 15%, that's a very bad idea. Very bad idea. U.S. economic conditions for the president. Or for, just on the issues. First, economic conditions. These are two issues that are going to be big in the presidential election. If the Republican nominee is Donald Trump, it doesn't matter because Trump just not going to win. As we showed in a couple slides before, the American people like Trump on the economy. And again, that's terrible, 40 to 56, but it's better than what anybody else has right now. So, and his rate, his number on the economy was good. Donald Trump, during his entire administration, it was quite good. It always hovered over 50 or around 50. But so this don't matter. If it's Trump v. Biden, Biden's gonna win because the country just doesn't like Trump, especially after his stolen election garbage. But positive economic conditions. Only 24% think the economy is very good or somewhat good. That's awful. That's abominable. And again, in March, it was 29, so it went down 5%. And that's somewhat good. Very good's at 2. 2! That's within the margin of error. Bigly within the margin of error. The poor, 76%. Again, both of these are going in the wrong direction for the president. It was 71 in March. That's awful. Somewhat poor, 45%. Very poor, 31%. That actually is a little bit better. That's, again, within the margin of error, but that it's 1 point better. You take silver lining if you're the president. And then the other one, the border. What's going on at the border? And the border is an absolute mess. We have millions and millions of people a year illegally crossing the southern border. Democrats in the Biden administration say, no problem here. The border is secure. Everything's all good. Everything's all good. Well, the country doesn't think everything's all good. And it's overwhelming. 77% say it's a crisis. 23% say it's not a crisis. That's a 44% margin. Almost 8 in 10 say that the economy's in a bad spot. So again, that tells you that Joe Biden, President Biden, is in a very, very bad situation going into his reelection. Which is why Joe Biden's entire, I guess you want to call it, reelection campaign, he officially launched. He's not really doing all that much. So I guess it's a campaign. But his entire campaign is, you may not like me, but do you like Trump? You may not want me, but do you want Trump? And the answer for most people is no. So he's going to try the basement campaign again. And you know what? It's probably going to work. So Republicans, pick wisely. DeSantis is trying to tank his campaign basically before it starts. And he's doing a good job. But I still think he would beat Joe Biden if he gets through the Republican nomination. Any other Republican running besides Vivek Ramaswamy would win. So, again, pick wisely. Unless you want 4 more years of this next year during the presidential election. That's all I got for you today. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you on the next one.